The last thing I wanted to just talk about is, the impact of the events of the last few days, the invasion of Ukraine, and what's that going to do? Well, in the short term, not very much to the helium market. I mean, there's Amur isn't producing anyway, so there's no impact there. Orenburg is producing, but it doesn't supply that much product to Western Europe. So I would say the short-term impact isn't going to be very significant. Longer-term impact, well, it's going to delay the progress in getting Amur repaired and restarted, and as also will impact the Irkutsk Oil Company's projects for the same reason. So, well, why is it? It's going to be much more difficult for foreign technical experts to travel to Russia. I mean, there's an important role for Lindy's technical people to play in Amur, and Chart's technical people to play in Irkutsk Oil Company's projects. And people are going to be reluctant to travel to Russia when the situation is unsettled politically, and if they're willing to travel, it's going to be a lot more difficult to obtain visas. It's always been difficult. Well, generally, almost always been difficult to obtain visas to travel to Russia from the West, and I assume it's going to be more difficult as long as relations are not good. So I would have to say that the net impact is that it's going to increase the duration of helium shortage 4.0, and certainly I think folks are going to. I think folks in the helium business always think about political risk and things like that, but I think this is really going to bring home the point about how important it is to factor political risk into your planning, and to try to have a supply portfolio that is, not overly exposed to geopolitical events. And then the last point I would make, and this is a big unknown, and this is just pointing out a risk, but depending on how things work out politically, it may be difficult to actually for Western companies to transact business with Russia for a while. I don't know how easy or difficult it's going to be to buy helium from Russia and export it and pay for it and all those other things. So I definitely think that the life will be more difficult. It'll be more difficult to implement those contracts. But as far as what the precise difficulties will be, it's hard to say.